Did Biden make a blunder, or did he have no choice really but to do this?
I mean, there's obviously a fair share of you got your pillaging, you got all that, you got your murders. They're safe.
What's disgusting about it is that he BS'd for so many times that he said he wasn't going to pardon his son. And that's when he was going to run for president. So he lied. But that's typical of all politicians. All they are lying pieces of crap to get their way into office. So should he have done it? You know, Judge Andrew Napolitano, who was he was a Supreme Court judge in New Jersey. He knows the Bill of Rights and the Constitution better than anybody that I know. He just wrote an article about the Biden pardoning his son. And he goes on to say, it's not right. But he goes on to also say what the son did was not that terrible, in terms that, let me get the proper language here, is that he harmed no one by his tardy tax payment with interest and penalties, and he harmed no one obtaining a gun permit and discarding the weapon. Thus, the three components of crime, legitimate authority, palpable harm, and articulable victim, are all absent in the Hunter Biden case. So that's the way the judge looks at it. But as I look at it, again, he lied and said he wasn't going to do it. But think about this. Then you got Trump. Trump gave this guy, Jared Kushner's father, when Trump was president, he pardoned him of his criminal activities. Oh, and now he just appointed him as America's ambassador to France. I'm just pointing it out. This is not a government. It's a crime syndicate.
Say this was a world where there was only one ruler and for a day you ruled it. I like it. I don't actually. I'd say no. If someone said, oh, you're the ruler of the world on the 5th of June, I wouldn't sleep till the 5th of June. On the 4th of June, I'd get out of it. I'd go, I can't. I can't do it. I don't want the pressure.
But Biden didn't pardon him for those two particular crimes that he'd been convicted of. He pardoned him for any crime that he may have committed. And what date did he choose? January of 2014, 3 weeks before Hunter started work, in quotation marks, at Burisma in Kiev. That's the rat that we can smell, isn't it?
Well, of course, it's not only, it's also that other little clown boy that ran for president. And again, these are all daddy's boys, John Kerry, his stepson-in-law, Chris Hines of the Hines 57 family. He was also on Burisma Energy. And this is after the United States overthrew the democratically elected government of Viktor Yanukovych in 2014. Right away, these two clown boys that don't know anything about Burisma Energy or energy, they're on the board of directors, making tens of millions of dollars in front of everybody's eyes, but that's okay. So, yeah, I agree with you. What they're doing, it's a crime syndicate that people call a government. Again, this is your Trends Journal back in 2014. You see how happy that guy is? It's all about America's overthrow of the democratically elected government of Viktor Yanukovych. And the article is written by Dr. Paul Craig Roberts, former Assistant Treasury Secretary under Ronald Reagan. And he makes it clear right here. I'm not going to go into the whole thing. Ukraine presented the perfect opportunity for Washington to advance its hegemonic agenda, and goes on to talk about the overthrow. And then Biden brings his little boy in, a little drug addict, nothing little clown, shot up freak. But I know all about Burisma Energy.
You have the power to change the laws, but only one law you choose stays changed after 24 hours. what law would you want changed permanently? Well, it would be something around. It would be something around human or animal rights, definitely. It'd be good, wouldn't it? To you're not allowed to. Just not allowed to kill anything for a laugh. You're not allowed to kill an animal for a laugh. You're not allowed to just go trophy hunting. It's illegal. I mean, it should be in fox hunting. Just ridiculous fucking blood sports. You're not allowed to. You're not allowed to cause an animal any fucking pain unless it's a really good reason, like self-defense. If you're asleep at night and a shark gets in your window and starts eating it, you're allowed to hurt it. There you go. Anything else? don't fucking torture and murder animals for a laugh. That's gone, right?
This little clown boy of nothing. I mean, you've been sucking off the public tit for over 60 years. A little jerk. And again, I want to make this clear too. All these little warmongers, you talked about Trump, he killed Soleimani, tried to overthrow the government of Venezuela. Oh, we're going to do this. We're going to be tough. These guys, they're all, I'm the same age as Trump. And Biden's, a couple of years older than me. We grew up during the Vietnam War. These little clown boys that talk real tough, where they got 4 and 5 draft deferments, and they love war. So anyway, going back to what Trump is going to do, Trump is going to do anything he wants to do, when he wants to do it, and how he wants to do it, and nobody's going to stop him. So Biden could get away with murder. They all could get away with murder. Look at their track records. By their deeds you shall know them. Look at the murderers. What, you like Bill Clinton's murders? Look what he did to Iraq. Killed over 500,000 Iraqi children. Ruined Yugoslavia. How about the Nobel Peace of Crap Prize winner, Barack Obama? When we got Afghan troop surge, I want that guy Gaddafi out of there. Get rid of Assad. All right, it's a crime syndicate. Talk about anyone you want. You were talking about Boris Johnson before. The best cartoonist in the world. Couldn't come up with a little freakier little clown boy than that. Take a look at that little Catson Macron over there in France. Hey, how about Olaf Scholz? The people that get into government are the lowest pieces of slime that you could imagine. Oh, not my language, a language of a real man that was in war, that hated war. Dwight D. Eisenhower, 5-star general, Supreme Commander of the Allied Forces, 2-term president. Google it up. Any man seeking the office of president is either an egomaniac or crazy.
If you're intentionally killing civilians, you probably shouldn't beat your chest and brag about it. Maybe you can make the
I agree
case,
with that.
Maybe you make the case that we had to do it or whatever, but you should.
I agree.
You should weep, and that's evil, and you should just say it's evil. And I know it's really threatening to.
Is it evil, though?
Ben Shapiro to say that or whatever, but
is it evil?
To kill civilians on purpose? Yeah, it is. I think it is.
Really?
Kids and children. Well, how is it not, actually?
In a war?
Well, you can call it whatever you want. How is it right to kill women and children?
I didn't say, because I think there is a moral right behind you if you are literally...
To kill women and children?
If there's a world war that threatens if it threatens the entire world, yes.
Some people killed your kids, like your 8-year-old?
How is
your own
that children
morally justifiable?
Well, because actually you have to... Well, by your criteria...
It's disgusting.
Okay, so no war is morally justified.
I mean, I think it's pretty hard to justify. I mean, yeah, I'm
Any
sure,
war.
A pure defensive action, sure. But all I'm saying, look, it's all ugly. It's all hard to stomach. I've actually seen some of it up close. It's super ugly.
You can say you hate it.
May I finish?
The fact you quibble with it being morally justified.
To intentionally kill non-combatants, women and children, I think we can say that's wrong. In fact, I thought that was the thing we were fighting against.
I can't be bothered. Look, you buy my tickets, you watch my shows, so I don't need to do anything else, do I? But the good thing about social media is I don't have to do real interviews. I don't think I've done a press interview for about 3 years now, because I hate them. And there's always a side, and there's always a journalist being snipey, trying to make themselves famous. I do the odd TV. I do about 2 TV shows in England and a couple in America once every 2 years. So that's good. I just talk straight to you guys. You're the ones paying, you know what I mean? And there are some expensive tickets to my gigs, like ridiculous. Mental. I know they're mental, but I just want to know, when they're platinum tickets, if you're paying £1,000 to get a ticket, if you're rich, I give all the extra profit to animal charities. So I don't keep that. I know everyone else does, but I don't, just so you know. So yeah, buy a ticket. I make people laugh. They have a great time. And then the people that weren't there see a clip and they get offended, which is brilliant. That's a bonus. And I save lots of animals, so.
Right, the interview. Let's see what we've got here.
That was the first bit I ever wrote for The Office. It was a sketch. Because it started off as a little character I had. It was a bit sort of creepier and more intense, and I thought there'd be too much when it came to it. The important thing I wanted to be was just laughing at him, being just desperate for attention. Brent is a Frankenstein of people I sort of knew growing up.
David Brent is refreshingly laid back for a man with such responsibility.
Yeah, can you just answer in your own words and I'll work it out
Yeah.
later.
And that's why he's sort of real, and I think that's why people identify with him, because people say, oh, I've had a boss like that, or I'm like that, because he is sort of an everyman, and every guy wants to sort of be loved and
Absolutely.
you know, wants to have fun at work. And Gareth is based on a guy I went to school with when I was 14. That's why he acts like an adolescent.
What are you doing?
What?
Gareth, what are you doing?
I'm just pushing the stuff off my desk. I can't
It's
concentrate.
not on your desk.
It was. It's all overlapping. It's all coming over the edge here.
Particularly something like The Office, realism was the single most important thing about it. So it resonated. You know, I worked in an office for 10 years, and so it was good to get the detail right. But it still comes down to character. It comes down to people recognising things in people. And I think most people identified with Tim, because he was a normal guy looking at this chaos and looking down the lens, like to people, save me. And then all the madness. If it's based in reality, you can get away with some madness.
Because they can sometimes get a little bit...
Well, I don't know. Maybe special occasions, the odd one, but it's got an afterlife. So I don't want to do too much. Also because I deal in realism, and you know, I play my age and I reflect that. I think it'd be too sad to see David Brent patting around at 60. Do you know what I mean? It would just be too tragic. I think we won't be able to laugh anymore. We'd just feel... I mean, it's already uncomfortable. It's incredible. Someone does this office quiz, and Ewan went to it, and he said the questions were so hard and people were getting them right. What's the time on according to Accurist? And they knew it.
No, I've got a sense of humour, but that, you know, that was offensive towards women, and, you know, to be honest, I can't tolerate it. I'm going to have to pass on.
And sponsored by Accurist will be 4, 21 and 40 seconds.
Pathetic.
Is it?
I mean, I'm very flattered that people watch you that many times.
Ofcom's children's codes are now being enforced, and they'll change how adults can go online too.
We warned about this. You will now be required to pass intrusive age checks to access most social media sites, as the Online Safety Act comes into force. Content that could be deemed harmful to children will now be age-gated as new legal obligations for online platforms kick in. Companies are being compelled to use dangerously intrusive methods like biometric face scans or demand users hand over copies of their ID cards and passports for access to certain websites. This will have a catastrophic impact on freedom online and introduce additional risks to children and adults alike, including security breaches, privacy intrusion, errors, digital exclusion and censorship. These methods are not a silver bullet solution for online safety and anyway are reportedly being easily circumvented. This new law enables state-backed censorship on a scale never seen before in the UK, and with the Home Office separately planning to create a new police unit to monitor social media posts, there's no doubt free speech online is under assault. This censor's charter has no place in a democracy and needs to be urgently re-examined. The world is watching.
Online safety bill. If it's just about children, is it just about children, or does it focus on adults?
That should be an elite squad.
Barry, does it just focus?
Protect 13-year-olds.
I'm sorry, the elite squad is not about children. Actually, shall I read you the thing? An elite squad of police officers is to monitor social media for anti-migrant sentiment. I don't think 13-year-olds are engaging that. So, is it also to monitor adults? Simple question, yes or no?
Yes, of course it will.
Okay, there we go. Look, sorry.
Wow. Good question.
As of today, the UK's internet has changed. There are strict new rules in place designed to put children's safety online at the heart of our scrolling. Ofcom's children's codes are now being enforced, and they'll change how adults can go online too.
For some services, this will mean putting in place highly effective age checks so that children can't access the service because fundamentally the service is not safe for children. So a pornography site, for example. For other services, this will mean other changes, such as making sure that their algorithms don't promote harmful content to children.
The most obvious change for adults overnight was this: new strict age verification. These new age checks should stop under 18s from accessing sites and should stop them seeing on their social media feeds. I'm going to try and get into the over 18 lobby.
Yoti is one of the age verification systems many companies are now using to stop young people accessing inappropriate content. It uses AI to estimate users' ages and is precise enough that it can't even be tricked using masks or selfies.
I'm very surprised.
There's a parasite, I think it's like a parasitic worm, that starts its life cycle in a stickleback, a fish, right? But it has to complete its life cycle in a warm-blooded animal. So it has to get into a warm-blooded animal. And so this is what it does. So the stickleback has got this little parasite. And the stickleback usually, if it sees a heron, the shadow, the shape of a heron, it flees the shadow. It knows, right? Instinctive, right? This parasite, at a certain point in its life cycle, I don't know how it does it. I assume sort of chemical or biological, a pheromone or something. I don't know how it does it. But it changes the stickleback's behaviour. So when the stickleback sees a heron, it's not scared of the shadow. So it doesn't flee. So the heron eats it and the parasite gets into a warm-blooded animal. That is like magic, isn't it? That is like some sort of weird spell. And it's all explainable. Even though that sounds like the craziest way to do something, it just did it. Without will, through natural selection. It's fucking, I mean, every fact is remarkable. It's just what we're used to. So you break down how a fucking flower pollinates itself. It's off the charts, mental, but we're used to it. So there's no fact really stranger than any other fact. Because we're around because it works. If you're around, it's because it works. But that is amazing, isn't it? Because you think of the parasite somehow in the stickleback, don't run away. Stickleback, what? Don't run away. Okay. But no, it's just pure physics and chemistry and biology. That's all everything is, really. Even though it feels magical, it's just energy, just electricity. pinging around doing, and nothing we can do about it.
BBC Verify has found that social media companies are blocking a wide range of content on its platforms, including about the wars in Ukraine and Gaza, in an attempt to comply with the UK's new Online Safety Act. The new legislation, which came into effect last week, cracks down on social media companies and websites which fail to protect under 18s from harmful content. BBC Verify's Reha Kansara has more.
Our analysis shows the new law is successfully blocking some harmful content online, including pornography, making the internet safer for children. But BBC Verify has found that sites like X and Reddit are also restricting non-harmful content for users who haven't verified their age. Now, this video, posted onto X, shows the point of view of a man in Gaza, searching through the rubble for the bodies of his family. It does not contain any graphic imagery or visible bodies, but it was restricted for some users, with a warning that says this content might not be appropriate for everyone. So was this one, posted onto X by Conservative MP Katie Lamb. It contained a graphic description of the rape of a minor by a grooming gang and was temporarily restricted. But the same video is available to view without restriction on Parliament's official streaming website, Parliament Live. On the online forum Reddit, this message board, which posts footage of the Ukraine war and has over 48,000 users, required them to verify their age when they tried to access it. Similar restrictions have also been imposed on several pages discussing the Israel-Gaza war and healthcare. Organisations can be fined up to £18 million or 10% of their global revenue if they're found to have failed to stop harmful content appearing on their platforms. And in serious cases, services could be blocked from the UK. But experts warn this could suppress legitimate public debate. Professor Sandra Wachter at Oxford University has expressed alarm at the restriction and told BBC Verify that the new bill was not supposed to be used to suppress facts of public interest, even if uncomfortable.
For everybody who's out there thinking of using VPNs, let me just say to you directly, verifying your age keeps a child safe. Keeps children safe in our country. So let's just not try and find a way around. Just prove your age, make the internet safer for children, make it a better experience for everyone. That's surely what we should aspire to in this country.
Which brings me to the great firewall of tyranny against which we here in Britain and we here in the West are struggling. We've had forever the problem of algorithmic strangulation, manipulation. You can do an Instagram, as we did, on pensions in Britain. Pensions in Britain. Talk about a niche issue, which gets 1 million views. 1 million views on Instagram. Check it out. And you can do a clip on the imminent danger of nuclear war and Armageddon, and all the forces will come down like a ton of bricks. They'll strangle you, try to crush you, try to stop people from seeing it, refuse to offer it to people. But now we've got a new enemy, the Online Safety Act, by which the British state and its paragon of virtue, Ofcom, will decide which videos you can watch, which tweets Twitter is allowed to show you, which pictures Instagram is going to be allowed to show you. And they pretended all this was about child protection. Yeah? In the era of Epstein, it's about child protection. But in truth, even speeches in Parliament have been blocked under the Online Protection Act.
Talk. It's My Life. Classic. Isn't it? Was that a hit around the world? I don't know. Doesn't matter. When I doubt they'll say that on the news. A Drain actor will be sadly missed. I'd love that. I'd love that if that's my legacy. Oh dear, but it's fun, isn't it? Oliver says, do you feel proud when you see the actors you cast in one of their first major roles go on to a big career, e.g. Martin Freeman? Yes, it's always lovely. Although I should say that Martin Freeman, he wasn't, I didn't find him working in a laundrette, you know. I'd actually worked with him on it might have been his first sort of major comedy thing. I don't know. It was a long time ago, and I met him. I wrote, I co-wrote Bruiser, a sketch show with Mitchell and Webb, Richard O'Waddy and Matt Holness, Olivia Colman, and we wrote a little sketch thing, and I met him then, and thought it was great. Although they're all great, obviously. Yeah, that was my first little proper paid job by the BBC, and I remembered him and thought, yeah, he'd be good, and I was right. So yeah, and I, obviously Ashley Jensen in Extras in the Afterlife. Oh, that's Pickle meowing. Do you want to see Pickle? Hold on. Fucking shambles. This is absolute. Right. Well, come here then. Come here then. Go on then. Go in there. No, I'm not playing. Don't run up the stairs, you fool. Oh, I just wanted to. What? I was just. You were yowling, so I thought you wanted to be. I mean, you're watching this thinking, oh, look at that. But you're watching it. You're watching a grown man, right, dancing with a cat. Right, she wants to go. Go on then. There you go. Oh, that was... Just shows you how bad this is, where me dancing with a cat was the highlight. Think of that. Think of that. Did you see that show? Yeah. Was there any good bits? No. But the best bit was dancing with a cat. Another question. How would you describe your perfect day, assuming anything is possible? Good question. Well, I miss going to lovely places with gigs. Like this time last year we were in Paris. I went to Berlin, Zurich, Barcelona. I mean, once a week I was doing these, Amsterdam. So it might be walking around somewhere like that. Me and Jane walking around somewhere like that and buying stupid things and having coffee, and that would be a pretty perfect day actually. If we're abroad, and it's a nice place where they've got dogs and I'm scruffling dogs. In Amsterdam we went to this brilliant charity thing on a big barge. It's a cat rescue home. And you just walk round and just scruffle the cats. You pay 10 quid or something, and then you just go in and stroke the cats. So maybe walking around Amsterdam, then doing a gig is pretty amazing. That's sort of what I do, isn't it? If So if I've walked around a beautiful place, had a lovely lunch, done a gig, feel that I've done something, or if I can't do a gig, if I've written a joke, I've always got to do something that I think is part of my job. I think I can't have a complete day off when you can't help it. If I have a day off, I think of something. I think of a good idea or a bad idea. So yeah, I think that would be it. Wandering around a beautiful foreign town, and then doing something to do with comedy. I couldn't sit around and do nothing. I've never really enjoyed sitting on a beach for 8 hours. Do you know what I mean? I think a holiday is got to be an adventure. Yeah, walking around Amsterdam, doing nothing, scruffling dogs. Oh, my eyes are stinging again. I had a bath, didn't I? Bubble bath. I thought I got around it. I put in some shampoo the other day. It wasn't bubbly enough. The comic and actor Ricky Gervais today, all sad and scabby with itchy eyes, in his bubble bucket. Bubble bath. Oh, this is it. Leopold and Loveday, happy day. It's Ricky's question. You are entering witness protection. Reasons top secret. Cats, by the way. And the government has allowed you to pick your new name. What would you choose as your new name? But it doesn't matter, does it? If I'm in witness protection and I go, hi, I'm John Smethurst, and they go, you look like the bloke from the office. I go, call the FBI, tell them someone's recognised me. I'd have to have surgery, wouldn't I? And change my name. Unless I went to a place where they didn't have the office, or afterlife. Netflix is in about 160 languages. The office was in about 90 countries. There's not a lot of places I can go, really. Maybe the Amazon basin or something. And then I don't really need a name. And I wouldn't be able to pronounce it, would I? If I were to try and just see a clicking sound. I'm ignorant. I don't know the language. I don't even know if that is the Amazon basin as its own. I had no idea. I was guessing. I was bluffing. Oh dear. I just wanted to say basin. Amazon basin. What would my name be? Cool. What have I always liked? What name have I always liked? Brad wouldn't seem, would it? Tommy Chubbington. Tommy Chubbington. That'd do, wouldn't it? I mean, wherever I am, where would I be? I couldn't just go in Watford, could I? Without having Tommy Chubbington, that'd do. And I'd have a different job, wouldn't I? The teacher and sports tutor, Tommy Chubbington, today, in the bucket of his own and bubble bath. He will be sadly missed in the Watford area. She's still yowling. Right. What do you do on your first day as a long-necked man? Get now. Oh, God. Look at all the awards I've won for writing and stand-up and directing. And that's only half of them. There's another wall over there, and yet I'm answering questions. What do you do on your first day as a long-necked man? This doesn't happen when they interview Obama or Attenborough. He doesn't get these. They don't get these questions. What would I do? I don't know. I suppose just look over fences. Just look. Because there's a lot of high-walled gardens in Hampstead, and I always think, oh, I wonder if they've got a tennis court. But you can't scramble up and have a look. But if I was just passing anyway, I go, morning. I go, hi. That's Tommy Chovington, the long-necked man. He's got a face like the bloke in the office, but it can't be him. Because he's 16 foot tall. Oh, God. Rupert, big-hearted thank you, Sir Ricky. Uncle, I followed you for some time, and you've been a hero of mine for years. Rupert's a dog, obviously. Thanks me for my kindness to animals. It's very nice. It's basically thanking me for entertaining, but I won't read it all because it's very nice though. But I feel bad reading such nice things about me. I'm mildly embarrassed, Roop, to read out. I prefer it when you insult me. Thank you very much. My question, in case there's time, have you considered hosting your own quiz show? I think you'd be brilliant. Thank you, Rupert. Well, not officially, not on telly, but I did used to like it. You know, I used to do it, with mates and family. I think I used to do it. Oh, I did work where I used to work. I did a mastermind for the people who work there, and I researched the questions. That was fun. I do like it. It's something nice. I like doing quizzes though as well. It's nice to be the quiz master, but I prefer to be the naughty schoolboy arguing. They used to be a quiz I used to go to, and it's just terrible. I try and try and point out of the quiz master. Oh God. I got what was Dostoevsky's first novel, and you got what was Mickey Mouse's girlfriend, and that was for a pie. It's not fair. So I think I'll probably be a better quizmaster than competitor. Yeah. Oh dear. And thank you, Rupert, for saying nice things. Kermit, right? This is Kermit. It's look at that. He gather round all animals and humans at Twitterland. Again, I won't read it all, but it's a very, very lovely thing from Kermit the cat. So thank you. What a lovely crowd. What a lovely useless crowd you are. Bella, Joey. Firstly, Sir Ricky. I'm now Sir Ricky. That's what I'd be instead of a knighthood. All the cats and dogs made me their patron saint. Saint Ricky. Saint Ricky. Today, the Saint Ricky peacefully in a bucket. So, do that. Be nice. Keep following. Keep watching. Before Today, the comic actor and comedian Sir Ricky Gervais peacefully in a bucket of his own and bubble bath. You'll miss me when I'm gone, won't you? Be nice to animals. Stay safe. Be nice to animals. Tatty bye, everyone. Tatty bye.
All we need to do is take over the media in these NATO countries, and that's primarily social media, get one of our pawns elected as the president, and that president will control the military. So it's much cheaper and more efficient to win a military war by simply winning civilian election.
How are you all? Did you have a good Christmas? It was good, wasn't it?
When did the government realize that they had to get actively involved in censorship, and what steps did they initially take to get involved in this?
It started in 2014 with the Ukraine fiasco, the coup and then the counter coup. The coup was great for internet free speech. I mean, you really do need to start the story of internet censorship with the story of internet freedom, because promotion of censorship is sort of the flip side of promotion of free speech. And we've had this free speech government diplomatic role for 80 years now. When World War II ended, we embarked, we had the international rules-based order that was created in 1948. We had the UN, we had NATO, we had the IMF, the World Bank. We had this big global system now. There was a prohibition in 1948 under the UN Declaration of Human Rights that you can't acquire territory by military force anymore and have it be respected by international law. So everything had to move to soft power influence. And so the U.S. government took a very active role beginning in 1948 to promote free speech around the world. And this was done through all these, initially CIA proprietaries like Voice of America and Radio Free Europe and Radio Liberty. And then the whole Wisner's, Wurlitzer, State Department CIA apparatus, all the early partnerships with the media and the war machine around propaganda for World War II continued through the Cold War. And then that hit the gas with promotion of free speech on the internet when the internet was privatized. It was initially a military project, so it was a government operation from Jump Street. And then in 1991, the World Wide Web came out, civilian use. And right away, the State Department, the military, our intelligence sphere was promoting free speech so that we could have a basically government pressure on foreign countries to open up their internet, to allow basically groups that the U.S. government was supporting to be able to combat state control over media in those other countries. So we already had this sort of deep interplay between government, tech companies, universities, NGOs that dates back 80 years. If you look at the evolution of NGOs like Freedom House or the Atlantic Council or Wilson Center in promoting these free speech things. So, but what happened was in 2014, we had about 25 years of successful free speech diplomacy. And then there was we tried to overthrow the government of Ukraine. We successfully did. And I'm not even arguing whether that's a good or a bad thing. But the fact is the U.S. did effectively January 6th, the Yanukovych government out of power in 2014. I mean, we literally had our Assistant Secretary of State for Europe and Eurasian Affairs, Victoria Nuland, handing out cookies and water bottles to violent street protesters as they surrounded the Parliament building and ran the democratically elected government out of office.
Someone just wrote my stepdaughter's school saying, we're going to show this film and it's got serious notions, but it also had some sexual language in it. But don't worry, we've taken out the sexual language. We restrict movies because they have sex in them, but we don't when people are being stabbed in the eye or their head is being cut off.
I think it was training day. I was watching in America. I was in the gym once, believe it or not. And it was like 2 p.m. in the morning. And there's a scene there where he's going, fuck you, no, fuck you. Fuck. And they changed that to forget you, right? Yeah. And then he shot him in the heart.
Yeah.
But then what happened is the eastern side of the state completely broke away. So we don't respect this new U.S.-installed government. Crimea voted in a referendum to join the Russian Federation. And that kicked off, that sort of set in motion the events that would end the concept of free speech diplomacy as like a U.S. government unfettered good. Because what they argued is we pumped $5 billion worth of U.S. government money into media institutions in Ukraine. That's the figure that's cited by Victoria Nuland in December 2013, right before the coup. $5 billion setting up independent media companies, basically sponsoring Mockingbird style our media assets in the region. And they still didn't penetrate eastern Ukraine. Eastern Ukraine was primarily ethnic Russian, didn't penetrate Crimea. So they said, we need something to stop them from being able to combat our media influence. And they initially called this the Gerasimov Doctrine, named after Valery Gerasimov, who was this Russian general. They took a quote from him saying, the new nature of war is no longer about military to military conflict. All we need to do is take over the media in these NATO countries, and that's primarily social media, get one of our pawns elected as the president, and that president will control the military. So it's much cheaper and more efficient to win a military war by simply winning civilian elections. So that was called the Gerasimov Doctrine. That's what set up the early censorship infrastructure in 2014. 3 years later, the guy who coined that, Mark Galeotti, would write a sort of mea culpa saying, oops, I'm sorry. Gerasimov was actually citing what the U.S. does. But by that point, they'd already renamed it hybrid warfare. NATO formally declared its tanks to tweets doctrine, saying that the new role of NATO is no longer just about tanks, it's about controlling tweets. And then Brexit happened in June 2016. In July 2016, the very next month in Warsaw, NATO added hybrid warfare to its formal charter, basically authorizing the military, the diplomatic sphere, and the intelligence world to take control over social media. And then 5 months later, Trump won the election, being called a Russian asset. So all that infrastructure was redirected home to the U.S.
Jesus.
Well, I mean, you can't know it's a masterpiece because that's subjective. So however good you think it is, however good you're pleased with it, you've also got to know that as many people will hate it as love it. If it's any good, people will hate it because it should polarize. Really good things should be saying something, and because everyone's different, some people should hate it because it should be against what they believe or want to hear. Or so, you know, masterpiece is subjective term. So there's no consensus. Everything I've ever done has got 5 stars, 4 stars, 3 stars, 2 stars, and 1 star. Everything comes out. You know, it's just you've just got to assume you're doing it for yourself. And so to know something's good is to be pleased with it, that you've done your best. I knew it was different. I knew it was different because I went to it with a big string of don'ts, like things that I didn't like, or you know, examples. I thought some things were really. Everyone's a critic, and I used to sit in front of the telly and go, "That's rubbish. I can do better than that." But you've got to put your money where your mouth is, and so you've got to do your best. Then you realise how hard it is. Now I don't do that really. I don't watch things I don't like. I don't watch things. I don't hate watch anything. I don't slag anything off publicly because I know how hard it is to do a bad show. Let alone a good show. Let alone an amazing show. Let alone a show that everyone loves that goes massive. You can't even plan for that because great shows don't get watched and bad shows, some people do. So I knew it was different, and I knew it had turned out just like I wanted, and that's all. And the reaction wouldn't have made much difference, really. As I say, there are some people that hate it. So what does that mean? Well, it means nothing. It means everyone's different, so you've got to do it. You've got to do it for you. Do I get nervous when you put something new out there? I get excited. Again, I know the reaction. I know that some people are going to love it, and some people will hate it, and everything in between. And most people, there are 7 billion people on the planet, most people won't watch it. So, you know, all you've got to do is get paid, have fun doing it, and try your best. The fact that someone keeps giving me money to make stuff, I've won. So you can't worry about a bad review or someone going, "This is shit." In fact, you've got to encourage it. You've got to polarise. Titch. But thank you for saying. Did you say it was a masterpiece? I've embarrassed myself. We used to just say, you go, I didn't say it was a masterpiece. No. If you did, then thank you. Have a nice new year. Stay safe. Right. Tatty bye, everyone. Be nice to animals. Tatty bye. What piece of advice can you give a stand-up who is midlife, menopausal, and a woman? Talk about that. Talk about that. Go out there and whine, whinge, or celebrate all those things that you are, all those things that you're going through. What the worst thing about it, what people think about it, everything. But, you know, what you know, what annoys you, what you are, what you can't help. So yeah, don't be afraid. Don't think, oh, this isn't fun. It is. Honesty's funny. Just you going out there. If you walked out and said, I'm a menopausal woman, I think people would go, right, okay, right, what about it? You know, they'd be, what's that mean? So yeah, talk about what you're going through. Mum and Sherlock. Sadly, I, at times, out of frustration, behave like a female version of Tony in Afterlife. What's something I could do every time I feel that Tony's emerging to stop me from saying something that most definitely would regret? It's difficult, isn't it? Because some people deserve to be told what you think of them, for better or worse. But obviously we don't want to do it. We don't want to get in trouble, or we don't want to get, you know, into a or some people do. What I do, this, we assume that they're in the wrong and you're annoyed, but you can't hold it back and you wish you hadn't said it because, you know, your reaction might be over the top. But sometimes, just in case, I think maybe they're having a bad day as well. Sometimes I think, oh, it's not that bad. What are you moaning about? You know, sometimes it's just not worth it. But it's hard to keep things in. If you think you've had, you know, terrible service, or someone's, you know, knocked your drink over and walked away, or you think, well, I've got the right to say something. But I think sometimes I'm irrationally annoyed. Like, you know, someone sniffing, they don't know they're sniffing. It drives me mental. I want to burn the building down. Someone eating loudly. But they don't know. They don't know that's driving someone mental. So it'd be weird. I mean, I have told people, I've given someone a tissue before. There was a bloke who was sniffing on a flight, and I went, do you want a tissue? And he went, oh, no. And I thought, oh, he thinks I'm mental. But I had to get it out of my head. Also, don't sniff. Oh, that hasn't helped you at all, has it? That's no advice at all, that is it? I got all red and flustered thinking about it. And they did bleep it, and I knew they would, so I pointed when I said it. So I won. Good advice there, isn't it? From the Eagles. Take it easy. Sometimes I want to say that, just I swear. Someone sort of out there was really angry about something. I'll go, take it easy. Don't worry about it. How are you? I've got my first sort of official job tomorrow in public. It's all right. It's a voiceover for a film, so I'm by myself in a booth. Don't think it's much safer than that. It's Blazing Samurai, a cartoon version of sort of Blazing Saddles, but with cats. Here's to cats. Cheers. Oh, here's to Brewdog. Last week, I sort of accidentally invented a new form of I sort of fused sort of advertising with charity, whereby I tell the truth about a product for no money, and they, if they want, give some money to charity, and they did. Brewdog, they said thanks for the shout out, and they gave cash to a few little dog charities here and there, and it's not the end of it. I won't say anything at the moment, but they're great. They're really good. I also found out they already give a lot to charity. They're just a great company by the look of it. But there might be more to come. So I'll think of another product to do that with. And again, right, when I was doing it, you remember last week I said, oh, I've heard about these things, like the Kardashians get thousands of pounds for doing things. And I've been offered those. And I thought, I want it to be real. What the papers picked up from that was Ricky Gervais slams the Kardashians. Like a lovely, positive thing. Or I didn't slam them at all. I said they're welcome to it. I just don't. I feel that when I say I'm telling the truth about someone, I want to do that. I do things for money. There's nothing wrong with doing things for money. I even said I'd do an advert because everyone knows that. But what I don't do is pretend to tweet some up for money without telling you the truth. That's all I said. I wasn't slamming anyone. I think it worked. I think it's a great idea that I'd say things that I like, and if the company like that, then they could give a bit to charities. It's like I don't know. It's capitalism without pure greed, I guess. But I'm not in anyone. Anyway, cheers to Brewdog. Give some more money. Give some more money to some dogs. All right, this is his question. My trouble is, I actually think it's a dog. I mean, he is a dog. He exists, but I think that this is him. Rupert, right? Rupert the dog. Where the dog? He's a fat Jack Russell. We've been through this. Right, this is his question. You've had a freak hang gliding accident, so specific, right, and lost both your arms. What a waste of time this is. I suppose that's the point, isn't it? It really is the best, honestly. Remember, I'm not getting paid for this. What's this? Alex, you often advise aspiring artists to write about what they know. Was this also your philosophy while writing music in your early years? And if not, do you think it would have benefited your musical career to do this? Yes, exactly, it would. I sort of wrote about what I knew, but when you're 18, 19, you want to be clever, don't you? So it was sort of pretentious, and I thought I was putting fucking Keats to disco. I think the big mistake that I wanted to be a pop star, I should have wanted to be a musician. And so I took that lesson, that failure, with me when I decided to do this, and I wanted to be a writer-director, not a film star, or do you know what I mean? So I think that's the lesson. But yeah, write about what you know. That doesn't mean a subject you're brilliant at. It means write about something you mean, almost. And that doesn't mean it has to be your true thoughts and feelings. It means you've got to mean it. You've got to want to do it. You've got to get something off your chest. Get something off your chest. I think that's it, particularly in comedy. If you're walking around thinking something, it's probably good. It's probably unless you're mental, and you might be a genius. You might be mental and a genius. Try it. See what happens. Irish Hugh says, who gave you the go-ahead for the speech at the Globes? NBC, their lawyers. I always, I've heard that other presenters have like 20 writers for weeks. I turn up with a scrap of paper, and I go, I want to do this. I've done that every time. They've looked at it every time with lawyers, and they've said, yeah, that's fine. Because I've usually done the research. I usually make sure something I say is either, you know, it would pass for satire, or it's true, or it's obviously not true, it's stupid, you know, or it's my opinion. And I go after people's public behaviours, things that have actually happened, you know, things they worry about more. I don't libel anyone or break the law, and things they worry about more is language. I think that would be the thing, which is fine, you know. I even tell them a couple of times where I've wanted to swear when I'm going to do it, and they've got a little delay and they bleep it. Some I don't tell them, but keeps them on their toes. I told you that the thing when I did the thing about the joke about cats when I started off. The world got to see James Corden as a fat. He was also in the movie Cats. The reviews. One said, "This is the worst thing to happen to cats since dogs." Then I go on, I say, Dame Judi Dench defended the movie, saying it was the role she was born to play because she likes nothing better than plonking herself down on the carpet, lifting her leg and licking her own mint. And the little meeting before, when there was sort of like 15 people in the room, execs and lawyers, that's the thing they were about, the word minge. I was going, it's fine. It's fine. And then someone looked up and went, oh, it says British term, vulgar term for... Of course it's a vulgar term for... What word isn't a euphemism, isn't... I said, what can I say? And the lawyer went, that's worse to say, to make it so real and medical and like I actually mean it. No, minge is funny, it's stupid, it's childish. It shows I'm just being... And they worried about that. And we went through lots of words, right, that I could say. I was going, I'm not saying that. Like worse. Like I said that they were like quim. I'm not going to say quim. Ow. Right? It's just meant to be a little playful, silly joke, right? Anyway, eventually they agreed that I could say mint. The point was that I wanted to say it unbleeped because it doesn't work as well if you have to bleep it. Because people go, what did he say? And they said, yeah, okay, we're fine. We'll bleep with it. And they did bleep it, and I knew they would, so I pointed when I said it. So I won. After I got home, I told Jane all about it. She went, oh, you should have said clunge. Of course I should have said clunge. Clunge is perfect, isn't it? Great. Fiona says, are you going to do a bit of mass this week? Oh, yeah, I said I'd do a bit of Bible reading, didn't I? For a laugh. I should read the bits. If I read the mad bits, I should read the good bits and sort of go, well, I sort of agree with that because there are good bits and bad bits. And my point is, you know, good Christians know the good bits from the bad bits, don't they? And I sort of say to them, well, if you know the good bits from the bad bits, you don't need the book. You're already good, right? So, one that comes up now and again that I think that is one of my favourite bits from the Bible is that let he amongst you who is without sin cast the first stone. People need reminding of that, particularly on Twitter. Oh my God, people are so judgmental. Oh my God, people say the wrong thing. They can say 50 brilliant things and then one thing that people go, no, you're out. No, he said, we agreed with 50 of them, but that one, no, you're out. Everyone's different. Everyone's a mix. Take the rough with the smooth. Most people are all right. Yeah, I should do that, shouldn't I? A little bit of Bible. Sean Morgan says, why bother? That's the question. I'm struggling to get an answer. Now, does he mean why bother doing this? Right? Because that's obviously a reply to my, I'm doing a live broadcast, any questions? Does he mean why bother, right? Which is a very good question. Or does he mean life in general? Which is a good question. Well, bother, you're here. Make the most of it. You know what I mean? People take the why are we here as the why should we stick around? Well, that's not the same, is it? Why are we here? We are. We're 1/1,000,000th in a long line of creatures that survived. We're here. We haven't got long. Make the most of it. Do things you like. I've never understood that. But what's the point? If you're going to eventually die and there's no afterlife, why live? Well, because it's 4 trillion to 1 chance that you are around. Make the most of it. And then go back to not existing. It's not the other choice. Yeah. I talked about this in Afterlife when Kath says, well, if there's no point, why don't you just kill yourself? You just stop now. Which is ludicrous. That's like saying, the metaphor I used was it's like watching a film that you really love and going, oh, it's going to end soon. Might as well finish it now. No point. This is all we've got. Enjoy it. It's amazing. And then you go back to not existing. Enjoy it. Chris Pilgrim says, do you regret anything you've done? Well, the quick answer is no, because it sort of doesn't make sense to. I can understand, I haven't done anything that bad. I haven't killed anyone, right? Which I'm sure if you kill someone, you probably regret it. But little things like failures or, that I always think that, do you mean if I could erase something and everything be the same? Well, maybe I'd go back and go, oh, wish I'd have flossed more, my teeth. But all those things that you did that you think, oh, I could have done that better, you did. Making mistakes is learning. It's crazy. It's crazy to think that I wish I'd go back and just do everything perfect first time. Well, life's not like that. All the bad things that happened that were, oh, why did I do that, right? They led to something good, and it wouldn't have been the same. If you like what you've got now, well, everything you did led up to that point. And anything you change, you'd be at a different point. So it doesn't really make sense. All you got to do is just keep trying and keep getting better. As I said before, if you're always trying, you can't fail. Because if someone says you failed, you go, I haven't finished yet. I haven't finished yet. Life is learning. Mistakes are valuable. Ricky Rampage says, Angels with Dirty Faces is a top film suggestion of yours. Thanks for recommending it. Are there any other films, series you can name which have positively encouraged or influenced any of your writings in the past? Loads. That was, I think, a website, IMDb or Oscars or something, tweeted, what's the best ending, without spoilers, the best ending to a movie? And I said, Angels with Dirty Faces. In fact, I used a bit of the ending in The Office and sort of disguised it a little bit. I can't tell you about it because it'll ruin what I did and what the ending is. But anyway, it's an amazing film. It's an amazing film. It's about morality and luck and the hand you're dealt and what you do with it. It's an incredible film. Others, yeah, loads of films. The Apartment had an effect on my work and writing. The ending of that, where it doesn't end in a kiss and a wedding and they lived happily ever after, when she just says, shut up and deal. I've always tried to do something like that. Like in Ghost Town, when she said, it hurts when I smile, or Invention of Lying, I want fat little snub-nosed kids, I'm your man, or whatever. I've always tried to do it like a bit of hope as opposed to, and they all lived happily ever after. So that was a big influence. But so many. I've talked about a couple of albums as well in lockdown that have become the albums of lockdown. And they weren't released during lockdown, but I sort of either rediscovered them or played them more than any other thing. There's two albums. This, Sufjan Stevens, Carrie and Lowell, every track is great, interesting, beautiful. It's just a perfect album. And I used one of the tracks on Afterlife 2, The Only Thing, the end of Afterlife 2. And this one, Buckingham Nicks. So, I mean, don't even bother trying to get hold of that. It's nearly impossible. Jane got this on an import from Europe. That's really expensive, and I just there's not many of them. But you can listen to it on YouTube or try. But be warned, it's rare. But yeah, well, oh look, I could recommend these. I'm always eating these, and they're vegan protein crisps, and I do it instead of snacking. This is why I'm so ripped. This is why I look fantastic. No, they're really good. So you get like a nice big hit of protein, like 8 grams for 150 calories. You compare that to normal, and they're as tasty as normal. They are, look. So I haven't been paid to do this. They don't even know I'm going to make some. They don't even know I buy them, this company. I don't even know what the company's called. But if anyone from this company is listening, give some money to a dog charity. Is it called UFit? Is that the company? UFit Crunchers, popped protein chips. Oh, they might be American. That doesn't matter, does it? What I meant is I don't know. Well, it doesn't matter. Look, if you own this company, this is a free advert, right? Give some money to charity or not. Either way, they're brilliant. Thanks, everyone. So, cheers, everyone. Tatty bye. Be nice to animals. Tatty bye.